Greetings. This is Arvette McLean with Speak, The Universe Listens. New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you. Greetings and welcome to today's episode of Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is releasing expectations. And I have Teron joining me,
Hey.
Rodney,
Hey.
and Steven.
Hey.
So oftentimes we talk about establishing expectations, positive expectations, but today we're talking about releasing expectations. And I want to throw it to Teron first so that you can talk about the framework of what we're talking about today.
Yeah, well, so what actually brought this topic to my mind is I was having a conversation with my stepmom, and I was just expressing like how I was upset because things weren't going my way. And I was like, like I want this to happen and this didn't happen. I want that to happen and that didn't happen. So she just calmly said, well, if you release the expectations of what you want to happen, you'll enjoy the things a lot more. And when she said it, I wasn't trying to hear it. I was like, I'm not trying to hear all that right now. Like, these are my feelings involved. Like, no. But, as I took time to step back, and when you start to release the expectations of what you feel from a situation or from a person, you start to enjoy everything about it a lot more. So a perfect example for me actually always comes through in personal relationships and like relationships with humans. The minute I release that I expect my friends to do a certain thing, now every action that my friends take, I'm never judging it, and I'm never looking at it like, you're not a good friend because you didn't do this for me. Mm-hmm. But they did everything they did everything a friend should do, but my expectation was I need you to do this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. So you release that and things become a lot more enjoyable.
Yes.
I agree with you on that, man. I had to learn how to release the expectation with my mom at one time, because one time I had bitter feelings because I just wanted to see her be great and just experience life. And so I realized that I had this just high expectation of her, and I realized like that's what I expect, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it in the point of view of what I want from her, and I just realizing like, hey, I can't expect her to live the way that I want her to live. She got to live the way that she feels is right for her. So when I realized that for myself, I was like, you know what? It made me get out of the space of judging her. And that's what I realized. I'm like, dang, this whole time I'm judging, So I had to realize I had to let that expectation go. And after I did, I felt good about it, but I still catch myself from time to time.
Oh yeah, I was gonna hit on that same point that, what Teron was saying, like when you're expecting someone to do something or expecting people to do things, it does take you to that space of judgment, because you're looking at it like they're supposed to do it like this or they're supposed to do that, so it does get you in the space of judging.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to piggyback on something you said, especially when you talk about your mom, because I think about sometimes like when I would judge friends like early on, it was like I don't feel like they're doing enough in life. Like I see a lot more of my friends than what they see themselves type of thing. And it's like who am I to say that, number one? Like that's a bold claim that I see more in you than you see in yourself. Like what is that? And then two, it's like well, why do I even feel that way? What if what is passionate to me isn't even what's passionate to them? So now I'm sitting here like, you need to just do better in school because I see you're a great student. But they're like, man, ain't nobody thinking about that.
So I think that's a great point that you just made, because it's so hard for us to see that if you can believe that you are a creator and that you're connected to the source of all that is, that you're divinely here, then that means everybody else is as well. And so a lot of times we want to tell people how they need to live their lives, but they're creators too, and they're leading their lives in a way that's right for them. Like we can't presume to know what's best for someone else. We can't presume to guess what's the best path for someone else. We don't know what they're here to do, what they're trying to accomplish from their higher self. We don't know if they may be placed here to help you
Exactly.
learn tolerance, or to help you to see more of what you don't want in life so that you can expand to what you do want in life. So you don't know why they're here, but we do know that they're divinely here. And so we can always keep that in mind, no matter what it looks like to us, that they're here is purposeful. And in the same way that we're stepping into our own, they're going to step into their own at their own time.
So,
No, you go.
I was gonna ask. So, what would you say about releasing expectations on some far as like goals for yourself?
That's crazy. I was actually just about to go there and just say like because another period I was thinking about it in, it's like, imagine like the expectation of having a lot of money and then you get it and it's like, well, this isn't really what I wanted. And it's like so you want to release those expectations early so that way when you accomplish the things that you said that you want to accomplish, they actually feel like accomplishments. Like, becoming a millionaire isn't fun if I expect it to feel a certain way and then by the time I get there it doesn't feel that way. Then it's like I did all of this and all this hustle and bustle that a lot of people would do, and like it's like, oh, this isn't fulfilling. So it's like you want to release those expectations so that way you can actually enjoy everything in life. Like I would hate the idea of wishing and wanting something so much and then by the time I get it it's like, this is not what I was feeling.
I had many times where I got something that I asked for and then didn't realize, like, I forgot that I even asked for it. And then after I get it, later on it dawns on me. I'm like, hey, I'm like, dang, I asked for this. So wow, I'm still not happy. Like what's going on? So I can relate to that.
Thank you.
It's actually also funny. I think I spoke about this before, or if not, I remember when I was transitioning from one job to another. Right before I left the first one, all I kept saying is, I just would love like some free time. I just want a couple weeks. Right. And so like I got those couple weeks in. Man, it was like the worst 2 weeks I had because it was like so much anxiety filled with going from one to the next. But then like the minute I stepped back, I was like, I sat there and I asked for this like for the last month. I just wanted a 2-week break. But when I got it, it didn't feel like what I wanted it to feel like because I had built up in my mind what I would do over the 2 weeks. And so when none of that happened, it was, oh, now I'm let down on what I just asked for.
I feel like having so much expectations, it allows you to not live in the moment at times. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes you can get caught up on what's next. I'm expecting this, I'm expecting that. But you're not enjoying what you have in front of you or appreciating what you have in front of you or showing gratitude for what you already had.
Agreed. It's like so many different things I want to say to every point that everybody made. But I'm going to go back so I won't forget. So, because at one point we were talking about relationships.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of people, especially when it's a intimate relationship, like you're like, how can I give up expectations for this relationship? Like I expect them to treat me a certain way. I expect them to, like right. we have all kinds of expectations in romantic relationships. And it's like, how do you negotiate that?
Oh man, I would say it's like for me, just from my experience, learning how to compromise and like sort of meet in the middle, because both people say we're coming from two different points of views and two different worlds, and so I have to somewhat learn this person and adjust to them. So I can't have an expectation or what I expect from them. But it's like I have to we both have to meet each other somewhere in the middle. So sort of like not putting too much expectation out there for them, if that makes sense.
I would say just loving them, really. Like just focusing on that part of the relationship, focusing on the love and the things you appreciate about each other. And then once you decide that, hey, I'm going to love this person, I'm going to appreciate this person, I'm grateful for this person, and I feel like all the expectations go out the window.
Yeah, I was kind of going to piggyback off of Rodney. I feel like, in intimate relationships, there's always some common ground already. So all you need to really do is just focus on like leading with love, because the expectations, like, you don't have to say it out loud, or you don't have to keep hammering it in or keep holding it on to yourself for it to happen. If you give what you want, it'll come back to you. So it's like I can't sit here and keep thinking to myself like, oh, I just wish she'd do the dishes. I wish she'd clean up after herself. I wish she'd clean up after herself. And then I'm just leaving everything on the floor. If I start to clean up, maybe she'll start to clean up. Or if I can't just be like, oh, I wish she'd compliment me more. Like, I wish she saw me more. You know what? 9 times out of 10, whatever we want, we also need to give a little more of. So if I start giving more of that, then I'll probably receive more of that from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because it's like what we don't realize is whatever we're vibrating, that's what we're attracting. And so if I'm looking at everything that they're doing wrong, and I'm saying, dang, they need to do this, they need to do, then I'm attracting more of that. That's my beacon of vibration. That's my light that I'm shining out and asking to return to me. So instead of looking at everything that's wrong, you can look at that person, or you can just think for yourself everything that you love and come from a place of love. And then the universe will work out the details. You don't have to beat the person down like, I need you to do this. You're not doing this. I need you. Like, the more you come from that angle, even the next person you attract, they're going to have that as well. But the thing about it is, whoever you're currently with, and let's just say everything that they're doing is just like the wrong thing, and and then you start realizing, okay, I need to come into an alignment or whatever, and you start loving yourself. And again, like the same things that y'all said in terms of loving them unconditionally. Like, you just love them, not because of what they've done or what they haven't done. You just love them. But the more you come into alignment and feeling in love, and you start vibrating what you want, then you will attract what you want, whether it's from that person or not.
And that's something what you said made me think, like, I'm always looking like at my outer world, and then when I'm looking at my outer world, the things that I don't like, I have to check back in with myself, and I'm like, hold up, so what I got going on inside of me that I'm getting this right here. So when you said that, it made me think about that.
Yeah, an intimate relationship is like a big mirror.
It is.
And the thing is too, a lot of times what we've learned is, like how you say, if you look out into the world and you see things that you don't want, then you got to come back and check yourself, right? But really, we don't have to do that. Really, the only thing you have to do is now think about what you want. Like, you don't have to be like, what's wrong with me? What's going on with me? What am I doing wrong? Because you're still attracted. So you don't, it's nothing wrong with doing it that way. It's nothing wrong with like, well, what's the thought that I'm having that's causing this in my arena? There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have to. You can just be like, okay, well, I must be focusing on what I don't want, so let me focus on what I do want.
But I'll say, like, for relationships, at one point, I always looked at it like I always fail at a certain aspect of my relationships, and then I go to another relationship and it's like the same thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm fine being sick. I don't even want to deal with it though, Lord. But then I realized, like, what we talk about is basically like, what am I telling myself? What am I putting out there to keep on getting the same old. So just changing what I put out there to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think also a part of intimate relationships and releasing expectations is the tough part of maybe releasing expectation that this person isn't who you're supposed to be romantic with, and accepting that and learning to just enjoy those moments as well. Like, it's okay to have somebody and date somebody and then not work and then say, all right, but I still enjoy your company, so we can still be friends, or we could still have, like, you could still be in somebody's life to some capacity. But that always gets complicated because a lot of times we hold on to, well, I have this image of you and I need you to be this. Mm-hmm. But the minute you release that and I just see you as you, it's like, oh, well, everything's a lot easier.
Yeah, and also with releasing those expectations with an intimate relationship, even if it doesn't work out, you can still look at it like, this happened for me.
Right.
You know, it didn't happen to me.
Yeah. Again, it helps you to know what more you want.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on intimate relationships.
Yeah, I flipped the topic back to that. But I know we had started talking about goals and releasing expectations for goals.
It's one of the best examples I think of that is I remember wanting a job so much, and then when I got it, it wasn't the fit, you know. And it's okay to say it wasn't the fit, but I remember like, man, like what is wrong? Like why can't I get this to work? But you know, the minute I was able to accept it wasn't the fit, the next opportunity came knocking on the door. Like it's kind of like it's wild the way I get my job opportunities, but it's like when you release the expectation, like, all right, you know, maybe this isn't the fit for me, then the next one always comes. Like you're always in alignment as long as you align yourself with what you want. And it's all about like letting go of what you think you want and just seeing everything as it is and loving it as it is.
And that's real key, because so often, like when we have our goals in our mind, we'll say, this is what we want it to look like, and this is how we want to get there. And that's really the part that we're asking to give up, like to release the expectation on. Because if we're so specific, we actually limit what's possible. And so of course, so when you're like saying, I want a job, I want a new job, it doesn't have to be this particular job. You want to make sure that you're saying, I want a job where, you know, whatever your thing is, but you know, maybe you want a job where you can have fun, maybe you want a job where you're creative, maybe you want a job where the people around you are inspirational, maybe you want a job where you just feel passionate about it when you go to work every day, you know. So that's more of what when you set your expectations, is how do you want to feel. So you get very clear on, how do I want to feel when I'm doing the work that I'm to do? And then start feeling it right now. Don't put a gap between where you are and where you want to be. So start feeling like, woo, when I get up, I'm just so excited. You know, I just feel so creative. You know, the people around me, look at the people around you who are already like the people who you want to work with.
I think also, like, piggyback off what y'all saying, a key component to all of this is gratitude. I feel like if you can be grateful for what you have now and what you don't already have, then I feel like that brings you to true alignment. And once you realize that it don't matter how it happened, the universe gonna provide for me always. You know, I think that helps you.
I agree.
And what you were saying, already, it makes me think about like getting up in the morning time. One time, it used to take me about a good 20 minutes just to get my mind right. I'm laying in the bed, I'm looking at the ceiling, and I'm like, another day, you know. So now it's just more when I wake up in the morning, I actually hop up out the bed, I'm moving, I'm in a good mood, you know, before my day even starts, because I'm in the space of gratitude. Like, I'm happy I get up in the morning, I'm happy I can go work and do something that I like to do. So staying in that space sort of keeps me at a high level, which I like.
I remember being in Longwood, and we did like a little class activity, and everybody was like saying their dream job, and of course everybody had these companies, and that was just something I could never relate to, because it was never any one place I wanted to be. I was kind of always what you were describing. I just wanted to feel certain ways in a job. So I think I was blessed enough to always be able to release the expectation on what job I wanted. But now I kind of want to get a little more like fine tuning that and like release all expectations in general.
So do anybody have a expectation now that they want to just let go of?
Well, I had a situation. I usually am able to catch myself. So, for example, one of my friends, a lot of times she complains about her sister. You know, her sister basically her sister don't do this, her sister,
Right.
like maybe is not as considerate of other people as she would like her to be. And so, but her sister has been her sister for like 50 years, and I've been friends with this person for like 30 years. And so for 30 years, my friend has been complaining about her sister. And I'm like, of course she loves her sister dearly, but this is just the ongoing complaint.
Right.
And I'm saying, okay, but you already know this. Like, that's who she is. Like, why are you still complaining about that? It's okay. Just love her unconditioned. Just love her. Don't worry about how she is. You don't need to get whatever things that you want from her. You don't have to get it from her. You can get it from somewhere else. And so I'm usually good when I'm like catching myself in a place of like expectation. But I just recently had a situation. Woo!
Woo! Took you there.
Yeah, and one of my friends just totally disappointed me in terms of what I thought should happen, the way I felt like things should go, and they just didn't do it. And I even found myself in tears as a result. And then I kept saying, well, what am I telling myself that's allowed me to get so caught up in this emotion? Like, why can't I just let it go? And so, yeah, I was just like, that my friend is a person who I guess is helping me to expand even more and go even further in being able to release all expectations, not just the ones that everybody kind of have, but that next level stuff. So, and that's kind of how I dealt with it, is to realize, okay, she's a teacher. She's teaching me. She's taking me to my next level. And so when I reframed it, then I was able to let it go.
Gotcha. Awesome.
I don't have nothing that good.
Yeah, I kind of got a situation where I'm trying to learn to release expectations. So I got two friends or whatever, might be dating or whatever, and so I know I have expectations for them both to play different roles in my life, and so now I'm learning to release those expectations and just enjoy the moments,
Right.
Because you get so caught up in thinking about what you want and what the future might be that you never really enjoy those moments. So I've been taking that as also my teachers to, hey, just sit down and enjoy things.
Gotcha. I'll say for me, taking on everybody else's problems and trying to save everybody, especially in the family, because I have a few family members that I know that they can use their help. I know that they may need me, and so I would just break my neck and go out of my way and just like, I'm like, this is my family, I'm gonna take care of them. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, I'm like, I'm taking on everybody else's problems, everybody else's burdens, and I'm sitting back, I'm getting drained, and I'm stressing myself out over something that don't even belong to me, So I'm like, you know what? Let me just change this expectation of trying to save everybody and just focus on myself and deal with. Some people don't like it, but hey, if it's relieving the stress, the unnecessary stress, and put me in a place of peace, that's all that matters. So I had to let that go.
And I know, like, some of the people who's most stressed are the people who are most passionate about different causes. Like at one time I was just kind of like on this, I've had a whole lot of different things, and I just was beating this bandwagon, like, this has got to be like this is wrong, we must correct it, or whatever. Right. And just totally stressed as a result of that. But yeah, a lot of people who are the most stressed are the people who are out in the world doing what they perceive as a good thing, and they're out saving the world. And this will probably sound really crazy or whatever to people who are doing that, people who are trying to save the world. But really, like you say, that's not our job. Like, that's not why we came here, to save the world, because the world technically isn't broken. So there's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong out there, even though to our limited vision, it seems like it's something wrong. But everything that's out there is for the expansion of the planet, of the universe. And when we get caught up into trying to save something, fighting this fight, we're actually not putting out the energy that we think we're putting out. When we are being a light, and when we're being love, and when we're in alignment with ourselves, that's when we're putting out the energy that reminds you to do the same.
Right.
And then your energy will remind the next person to do the same. And so, and it's not even a one-on-one. Like, one person who's fully aligned has the power to touch millions of people. And so while we may think, okay, you just taking care of yourself, you're not thinking about the rest of the world, that's not true. It's like you're reminding people of who they are when you start remembering who you are.
That's true. That's very
Yes.
true. Because like you said, when people see that you are focusing, not even just focusing on you, but like you said, you're in alignment with you and everything that is, they see that and they like that. They want to, you attract, you're attracting that. So it's like they want to experience that for themselves.
Also, I just had to point it out. So, Stephen, exactly what you just described is exactly what I was feeling earlier today. I was like, it's feel like it's just so much happening. I just got to go help this person, help that person. And I was feeling drained. And then I started to dawn on me. I was like, well, I'm also no good to anybody when I'm no good.
Right.
And so it's I took I'll honestly say I just took a day to remove myself from everything and really enjoy me and sitting with I want. Because I felt like that was necessary, because you get caught up in this burden or that burden, or not even burdens, but this is going one way, this is going one way, this is going one way. You feel like you're gonna put all of these fires, but in the end, when you're doing all of that, one, you're stopping them the opportunity to grow, and so you got to help when you actually feel like helping. I learned that from you. And two, so you can't just jump out there and try and save everybody, because then you're stopping them, so I'm hurting them in the long run. So here I am thinking I'm putting water on the fire, but instead I got a pot of grease and I'm just flaming it up.
I like that.
And so, that's actually one lesson that that's an expectation that I'm also constantly battling off. So thank you.
One thing I say with that too, I when I think about it, I sort of realize that I love helping people, and I'll do anything for anybody if if I'm able to. But I realize, that if I was to take that same amount of energy that I put into saving everybody else and put that into myself, how much stress-free I'd be.
All right, you want to wrap it up?
Just to end, I would say, when you're having those expectations and you feel like something isn't going right, first take a step back and realize that, one, everything is right. So there is no right or wrong, and as Stephen always says, you're both right. And two, releasing those expectations, it releases you. You can be your higher self when you start limiting yourself, is what I would say.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed this conversation. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too, and I hope you took some little gems with you. And until next week, meet again. This is Arvette.
This is Steve.
Right.
That's right.